Good day, class. Welcome to chapters 2 and 3 of the Law on Sales. So let's begin. So chapter 2 talks about capacity to buy and sell. So who are the persons who may enter into a contract of sale? As a general rule, all persons, whether natural or juridical, who can buy themselves by contract also have legal capacity to buy and sell. So it says here all persons. When we say persons in legal parlance, it means it's either natural or juridical persons. So a natural person is just like you and me. I am a natural person. You, my students, are natural persons. What is a juridical person? Now we learned in Business Law 2 or the Law on Partnerships and Corporations that juridical persons include these partnerships and the corporations because they have a personality separate and distinct from their shareholders in the case of corporations and the partners in the case of partnerships. So ibig sabihin, the partnership itself and the corporation itself can enter into a contract of sale. Now, what is the exception? The exception is, or rather are, those who suffer from either absolute or relative incapacity. So let's talk about absolute incapacity. All right. What if both the buyer and the seller are minors? All right. So as we learned in Oblique 1, no? So persons below 18 years old, all right, persons below 18 years old don't really have a complete capacity to act. Okay? So bakit ganun, no? Ibig sabihin ba, they lack the mental faculties to make bright decisions? Well, apparently it's like that, no? Legally speaking. Okay? So they cannot make informed decisions, those who are 18 and below. So what if both the buyer and the seller are minors? So is this a defective contract? Yes, it is a defective contract. It is unenforceable. All right? It's not void, but rather it is unenforceable. Now, scenario 2. If only one party is a minor, the contract is voidable at the option of the minor. So paano kung yung buyer, yung minor, alright? Tapos bumili siya ng thing, no? It's voidable at his option. Alright? That's what the law says. But of course, may mga defenses yung seller dyan. Okay? And when it comes to necessities, hindi na siya pwede maging voidable. Alright? Necessities like food, etc. Okay? The liability for necessaries of minor or other person without capacity to act. So necessaries are things which are needed for sustenance, like dwelling, clothing, and medical assistance. What can be considered as necessaries is on a case-to-case basis, depending on the circumstances. As a general rule, contracts entered into by minors and other incapacitated minors are voidable. However, when necessaries are sold and delivered to them, they must pay a reasonable price therefore. Okay? So the exception to the exception is if necessaries are the things that were bought. Okay? So like food, dapat naman bayaran yan. It will be very unfair for the seller if it is treated as voidable. Okay? Let's talk about relative incapacity of a husband and wife. The husband and wife are prohibited from selling to each other. Such sale is void from the very beginning. Okay? It is void, class, no? They are also prohibited from making donations to each other during the marriage, except moderate gifts on occasion of family rejoicing. Na kung mapapansin nyo class, no? Exception yung moderate gifts. This is not clearly specified kung what will constitute moderate gifts. So it's on a case-to-case basis. What is moderate to you may be not moderate to somebody. Okay? What may be luxurious to that person, you just consider something moderate. So it's a case-to-case basis. Like paano kung Rolex yung binibigay? If you're a rich person, medyo baliwala sa iyo. Okay, but to somebody who has limited financial capacity, that's almost everything. That's almost everything he owns. So in that case, it would be void. The donation will be void, all right, because it's not moderate anymore. And only exceptions are when there has been a separation of property agreed upon in the marriage settlements, or when there has been a judicial separation of property decreed between them. So class, some of you may be married or some of you magbabalak pa lang na ikasal. No? Always remember that you can always sign a prenuptial agreement. Pwede na pag-usapan na hiwalay kayo ng properties. That is perfectly valid. No? Pwede na pag-usapan na complete separation of property kayo. Kung ano yung sa'yo lang. Kung ano yung sa spouse mo, sa kanya lang. But you have to enter into that agreement before your marriage. Paano kung wala kayong agreement? If you don't have any agreement, then you will have an absolute community of property regime. Alright? So meaning, yung sweldo mo, okay? Kasi hindi pwedeng sa'yo lang yon. May share dyan yung spouse mo. Lahat ng pinaghirapan mo during your marriage, may share dyan yung spouse mo. Okay? Yung mga binibili mong properties na akala mo sa'yo lang, may share dyan yung spouse mo. So yun, no? So forgive me for digressing. I just want you to have a glimpse of our property relations. So let's talk about incapacity by reason of relation to property. So I want you class to read this in conjunction with the law itself. No? So this is from Article 4091. Where can you see Article 4091 aside from your book? You can easily search the internet class. The Civil Code of the Philippines is listed on the internet. So you can easily find Article 4091 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. So let's go to this. Incapacity by reason of relation to property. They are guardians, agents, executors, and administrators, public officers and employees, judicial officers and employees and lawyers, and others specially disqualified by law. These persons are prohibited from acquiring certain properties either directly or indirectly because of their position and relation with the persons under their charge or property under their control. So bakit ganito? No? It's to prevent frauds. All right? To minimize temptations and exerting undue and improper influence. So bakit ganito class? No? For example, meron kang ahente na nagbebenta ng lupa mo. No? So nagtiwala ka sa kanya na pwedeng siya mag-dictate ng price. Pwede yun klase. No? Pwede ka magano ng ahente, pwede yung ahente ang sabihan mo na, sige, mag-ano ka ng price. No? Bibigyan kita ng authority na ito yung range ng price range na pwede mo iset. Paano kasi sinabi niya, gusto ko ako na lang bibili ng lupa mo. Tapos sinabi yung pinakamababang presyo. See, there's a conflict of interest. It is very prone to abuse. Okay? So yung mga sales sa ganyan, hindi pinapayagan, hindi pwede. Right? Pero yung sa agent class, kapag pumayag naman yung principal, then medyo walang problema doon. Pero when it comes to these officers, no, yung mga guardians, executors, administrators, pati lawyers actually, malaking responsibility yan. Alright? Hindi basta-basta pwedeng, let's say may hinahandle sila na property, na dumadaan sa, let's say, yung lawyer yung nag-handle or yung judicial officer yung nag-handle. Okay, hindi na pwede bilhin yung property na yun because ma-influensyahan nila yung seller dun sa presyo. Alright? So the law actually wants to protect the seller here. So other persons, especially disqualified, aliens who are disqualified to purchase private agricultural lands. So who are aliens class? No? Ang aliens, sila yung mga non-Filipino citizens. Okay? Those are non-Filipino citizens na nandito sa Pilipinas. They cannot buy private agricultural land. No? They cannot buy land in the Philippines. Ano pwede na nabilin? Pwede sila bumili ng condo. Alright? Pero, tapos pwede rin sila mag-lease ng lupa. Pwede sila magrenta. Okay, but they cannot own land here in the Philippines. Bakit ganun? Kasi pag ganun, edi binili na tayo ng ibang bansa. So, hindi pwede yun. On an unpaid seller, having a right of lien or having stopped the goods in transitu. So class, we will learn more about right of lien and stoppage of good stoppage in transitu. All right? Kapag yung seller hindi pa siya binabayaran, no? Kapag ang seller hindi pa binabayaran, tapos dinadeliver na yung goods. Tapos naging insolvent yung, anyway, we will learn more about this in the future. Tapos naging insolvent yung buyer na dumating sa knowledge ng seller, the seller can actually stop the delivery of the goods. Let's say nasa barko yung goods. No? In transit sa buyer. Pwede ipatigil ng seller yan. Okay? All right. Pero hindi pwedeng bilhin ng let's say binebenta nga niya. Let's say binebenta nga niya yung goods dun sa buyer, no? Tapos hindi siya binayaran. Hindi tamang remedy yung bibili niya ulit yung goods. Okay? There are other remedies for that. Isa pa, officer conducting an execution sale of property to enforce a court judgment rendered against the owner. All right? So, ito para sa mga court employees, mga ganyan, pag merong public auction. All right? Hindi pwede dito, hindi pwedeng sumali sa bilihan yung mga court employees, yung mga court officers. All right? Bakit? Ba di sila pwede sumali? Kasi sila yung nandun, sila yung nag-execute ng sale. Kasi kung binigyan sila ng karapatan na bumili rin ng property dyan, nagawa sila ng hocus-pocus, no? Pwede. Pwede silang gumawa ng hocus-pocus. Pwede magkaroon ng frauds. It's very tantamount to frauds. Pwede na sobrang babaan yung presyo. Maraming pwede gawing schemes, no? Kawawa naman yung seller. Kawawa yung landowner. So, let's go to chapter 3. No? So chapter 3 naman talks about the loss of the thing. Okay? So what is the effect of loss of the thing at the time of sale? Number 1, when the thing is entirely lost at the time of perfection. Okay, we should know what perfection is right now. Perfection is meeting of the minds. So kapag nawala daw yung determinate thing at the time of perfection, the contract is inexistent and void because there is no object. Walang ibebenta. If there is no object, remember class the essential requisites of a contract of sale. Remember the essential elements of a contract of sale. Okay? Kung meron na wala dyan, there is no contract of sale. Number 2, when the thing is only partially lost, the buyer or the vendee may elect between withdrawing from the contract or demanding the remaining part, paying its proportionate price, which is lower in its damaged or deteriorated state. Example yan, no? Nagbebenta ka ng 100 na bigas na naka-separate na. Kumbaga nakasako na and everything, ready na sana to deliver. Alright, kumbaga determined na kung ano yung ibebenta. Okay, and parang nasira yung kalahati. Tapos yung seller, pinipilit niya na bayaran pa rin ng buyer may nabayaran pa rin ng buyer yung halaga ng bigas. Sinasabi ng seller, teka, 427 to. Ganyan. So, paano yun? Pag ganun class, no? If it's kasi pag ganun parang loss na rin yun, no? Pag ganun, the buyer may withdraw from the contract or demand the remaining part, no? So kung kalahati lang yung yung kalahati na sira, pwede kalahati lang yung bayaran niya. Okay? That's the option of the buyer. All right? Again, this is before or at the time of perfection. Okay? Paano kung after perfection but before delivery? Who bears the risk of loss? The buyer already bears the risk of loss. Okay, class? Kasi paano kung yung sako, parang naka-ready na i-deliver the following day. Okay? Parang nawala lahat ng bigas, no? Liable pa rin ba si buyer? Yes, liable pa rin si buyer. Alright? So effect of loss in case of specific goods. The goods identified and agreed upon at the time a contract of sale is made. If the sale is divisible, when the consideration is made up of several parts and not entire and single, it can be avoided or valid as to those not yet deteriorated. If the sale is indivisible, meaning when the consideration is entire and single, it can be avoided or continued, but the buyer should be made to pay only the proportionate price of the remaining goods. So kung mapansin yung class, no, yung number 1 and number 2, medyo similar. Okay? Kahit divisible ba yan or indivisible. Bakit siya parehong similar, no? Kasi yung buyer may 2 options, no? Pwedeng iwasan na yung sale. Kaya ang bayaran niya yung fair amount lang. And the fair amount is kung ano yung hindi pa deteriorated. Itutuloy yung sale, pero kumbaga babawasan na lang yung presyo kung partly deteriorated. No? Alright? So class, we end chapters 2 and 3. We now get ready for chapter 4. Good day, class.